Hello VC, I'm back to do a recent vinyl finds, and I'm also going to show you what I've listened to this week and ongoing weekend. So here we go. A lot of you people saw this, but I have to show it again. It's King Crimson's In the Court of the Crimson King on Pink Island, original UK first press. So glad I got this, and I thought that not many people would watch my 3 years anniversary video, but all of you did. So and thanks for that. So this is a magazine produced in Sweden called Sonic. It's a music magazine, and this summer they did a list with the 100 best Swedish records ever recorded. You can say what you want about this kind of lists, and I don't agree with everything, but there's some good insights about some of the records, like this. On 49th place, Doris, If You Give the World Some Love Today, Babe. A great article, some photos, and an in-depth interview with her. So great. And in that magazine there were this record, Peps Bluesband with Hög Standard, and this is something that my dad used to listen to when I was younger, and I didn't like it at all. But Peps, he's always been there in the background, and I have some sort of respect for him as an artist. I mean, reading the article about this record that came pretty high up on the list, I got really interested in this record, so I bought it cheap. Now, Peps was a blues musician in the 60s, and something happened in the 70s, so he started to listening to Jamaican music and reggae, Bob Marley, for instance. And he changed from blues musician to blues and reggae musician. And this is the second reggae blues record that he recorded, Hög Standard, from 1975. There's actually two Bob Marley covers on this one. One is Steer It Up, that he does very well. What I like about this record, I haven't even thought about before, is that it's very interesting. It's like don't give a damn attitude, and I mean it's filled with this rootsy kind of folky Swedish tradition, blended with American blues and reggae. I like this a lot. It's all in Swedish, but it's a great record. Next one I found was this. I've been after this for a while. Kung Tung with Det är ett gott liv, det är vårt liv. King Heavy with It's a Short Life, It's Our Life. This is a pretty interesting prog record, if you're interested in Swedish prog, because this is you could say maybe the start of Ragnarök. Ragnarök had already produced one record in 1977, I think, and in 1978 Peter Brynjelsson, this guy with the long hair there, and the drummer Thomas Wigert, they were in Ragnarök, but they decided to jump on this project and record this, and then they went back to Ragnarök and produced a lot of good music after that, but this is the only one that Kung Tung did. And Ragnarök is more of a straight-up Swedish prog group, whilst this is more in the same vein as November, mashed with Ragnarök. And with that being said, like heavy prog, more on the boundary of rock, but this is and all in Swedish. Interesting record, but I still think that both Ragnarök and November is doing a better job than Kung Tung did, but it's a good record. A little bit late on this one, but I wanted a perfect copy for a good price, and now I have it. My Life in the Bush of Ghosts with Brian Eno and David Byrne. 1981. So the story is like Eno was producing Remaining Light with Talking Heads at around the same time as this was made. I guess that I think that this is more Eno-esque than Talking Heads-esque, even if it's a lot similar to the Remaining Light record. You can definitely hear both Eno and Talking Heads on the record, Talking Heads, but David Byrne. I mean, every time I listen to an Eno record, I say this: he blew me away. He blew me away. It blew me away. The record blew me away. It's not my favorite Eno record, but it's still a 8 or a 9 on my scale of records. Fantastic. If you're a Eno fan, you know, you already have it. Okay, so moving on to one that I wanted for a while. This is actually my first music stack purchase. Jakob Dylan, Seeing Things. I got this sealed. There's the backside there. This was produced in 2008 by Rick Rubin, and it's the first solo record that Jakob Dylan released after the Wallflowers. I don't know if they're still going on, but it's the first solo anyway. Yeah, and what can I say about this record? It's a great record. I've listened to it numerous times on digital Spotify and the download. And man, it's a good record. It's that typical good Rick Rubin produced, where you have the same personal touch as he did with Johnny Cash's American Recordings, and it's a lot like, let's say, Bob Dylan's own Mercy, produced by Daniel Lanois. That kind of narrow, close, personal lyrics and voice, almost acoustic sounding record. Great. This is out of print. It's getting a little bit pricey, but I found it for a great price from Canada, and they shipped it here. The shipping cost made this a little bit expensive, but if you want a copy of this, try to get it because it's going up in price. The same goes with his next one that he released like 2 years after that or something like that. I don't have that, and I wish I had it, but I can't find a good price for that. So if you know a copy of that for a good price, please comment. It's like this. I like finding new record shops online because they're not very well known. And when I do, especially Swedish ones, I often take a couple of hours. I sort all the vinyl on price because I know that, as a store you can't be up to date on everything, and sometimes online stores do mistakes. And if you're there, you can take advantage of those mistakes. And I did with these 3. So the first one, for $8, I got Mogwai's Hardcore Will Never Die But You Will. Gatefold. And backside. Comes with printed in the sleeves and a download code. So this was released a couple of years ago, and a lot of people showed it in the VC, and I thought of buying it but didn't. And everyone said it, but a lot of people said it was very good. I listened to it a couple of times digitally, but I didn't buy it, But for $8 I couldn't resist. Now, Mogwai is a post-rock band, and I like post-rock, especially the heavier stuff like Isis and Neurosis and, maybe Earth. You can put them in a post-rock, label. But a little more heavier stuff, Godspeed Black Emperor. Why? What I don't like about Mogwai and this record is it's too polished. It's a little bit too radio friendly, if you can say that post-rock is radio friendly, but it's a little bit too fluffy. And I'd like to be, I like it to be more interesting. But then again, don't get me wrong, it's still a good record, and I'd say it's maybe a 6 or something like that. But I wished they could do a little bit more with the music. Next one, same Swedish store. I managed to get a copy of Red Dirt. Backside. It's on this label, Morgan Bluetown, on red vinyl. So this is a psych rock band from 1970, or this record is from 1970, and it's one of those obscure records that was, it's hard to get, and they reissued this. It's actually on Morgan Bluetown originally, but they resurrected the label and started to give out their old, music. I think that the label had something to do with the Record Collector magazine in the UK, some sort of collaboration there, because you could buy the records from them. But then again, maybe they did some sort of like limited edition stuff. I read that there's only 750 copies of each record, but I may be wrong. It's great priced. You can find these for like $14-16, somewhere along that line, and it's great press quality. If you're interested in like psych music from the 70s, who isn't, then this is a good record. But it sounds a little bit like all those kind of bands, and that kind of music is great. But if you're expecting something to like blow your mind and be something new in that genre, this is nothing new. I've only listened to it once. I will listen to it more, but I don't know. With all psych music, I have some sort of like high hope for it, and I have to say I was a little bit disappointed, but still a great record. So moving on to something that did not disappoint me, and this is the record of the day. I mean, this is maybe the record of the year, maybe it's the record of the decade. But I got a copy of Will Malone's solo record from 1970, the same label, Morgan Blue Town from 1970. Backside and light blue vinyl. So I knew about this record a couple of years ago when Mick Åkerfeldt talked about it in his Swedish radio show, and he played one song from the original of this. But I haven't seen anyone showing it in the VC. Maybe someone has, I can't remember, and maybe I didn't see that video, but man oh man, I hope that the ones that showed it talked about it as good as I'm gonna do, because this is a freaking-tastic record. Will Malone 1970, the myth is that this was produced in only 200 copies back in the day, and it didn't sell well. And they only know about 60 copies existing today in the world. And Mick Åkerfeldt has one of those original copies. Last time it sold, but it's been selling for like $2,000 or $2,500 or somewhere along that line. So, you know, getting an original is not going to happen. This is great pressed. It sounds good. So for 14 or 16 bucks, you know, get this. I think it's limited to 750 copies, but I'm not sure. It's gonna get out of print in that case, so get one while you can. And getting to the music, I mean, this is a stone cold masterpiece of a singer-songwriter record. And with singer-songwriter, it's like it's him. It's very minimalistic in the sound. Yet again, he's a killer on doing string arrangements or orchestral arrangements. So on some songs there's great arrangements, and that's what he got famous for after, you know, this period. He started out in a band, in an instrumental band called Orange Bicycle, I think, in the late 60s. Then he did this, and then he moved on to play or work with great bands and musicians, and getting a reputation. I don't know if he's still around today, but he worked with some of the best, you know. So this is an obscure classic kind of a record, and I've listened to it 5 times in 3 days now, and it's growing to be one of my favorite records of all time. There's not a single bad song on it. Everything is interesting. It's good songs, strong songs. Yeah, check it out on YouTube. There's tracks on YouTube of it, and Catherine's Wheel, or Catherine Wheel, is one of the great songs. One More Flight to Parker, check that out. It's killer. But I mean, every single song is a 10. Check it out if you like it. If you do, I mean, if you're gonna get one record this year or ever, get this record. Everyone needs to hear that music. Incredible. So moving on to the things I've listened to this week. Playing in the background is the Svenska Löd AB, a Swedish fusion record from the early 70s with John Chaferon playing guitar and a lot of other great musicians. Awesome. Also played my crap copy of Jethro Tull's Living in the Past, and crap copy, it's because the cover is in so bad shape, it's ridiculous, but the vinyl is in great condition. I got this almost free, but a great record, a compilation record with a lot of outtakes and stuff like that. Next one, I played two discs of Can's Lost Tapes. Backside. I mean, this box is just heavy. I'm so glad I got it when it was released. Yeah, and the recording quality and the press quality is just immaculate, if that's even a word in the English dictionary. I mean, fuck. If you like Can, or krautrock, or progressive rock, it's a must-have. Also played Meshuggah's Koloss. yeah, it's growing on me. Each time I play it, it's growing on me. I didn't like it too much at first when I first heard it, but it's a classic Meshuggah record. Spun this also, Magic and Laws by Lou Reed, because someone told me about a song called Sword of Damocles, which I've forgotten how it sounded like, and man, it's a good tune. Fantastic song on a fantastic record. Super Sessions, I spun this. Been a while since I spun this, so it was good going back to this. An orgy in guitar-driven music. Yeah. Also one that a lot of you have, of course, Wired with Jeff Beck, Stone Cold Fusion record, and I forgot how good this is produced. Really sounds terrific. So great with Michael Walden and Jan Hammer also on it. A little bit Mahavishnu-esque maybe. Also spun Love's Da Capo. I have it on red Electra. Great. I wish I had more Love. I have this and Forever Changes. I wish I had them all. I don't know if they released like 4 records or something like that. And the last one, Willie Nelson's Red-Headed Stranger. Been a while since I played this, and you really have to be in the mood for this record, that sort of country mood. But when you are, this is great. And I was that last night. So fantastic record. So that's all from me, a little bit long, but hey, what can you do? Hope you liked it and all is well with you out there, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.